Pacific candidates from Labour, National ACT and the Greens locked horns over immigration, health, education and crime. Spokespeople from the four parties debated the issues during an RNZ Pacific and Pacific Media Network election debate. Our election 2023 Pacific Issues reporter Lydia Lewis has more.
Tension.
Pacific people.
I think we need to be a bit more honest around that as well.
I have been honest,
well, there's
Karen.
all these
Tears.
The one that upsets me the most is 14.2% of our Year 8 students, this was tested in 2022, reach the minimum curriculum for maths. And the general number was actually 41.5.
And big promises, one from a party that had the power to make changes just a few weeks ago.
You have to think about everything that has been expected of Immigration New Zealand in the last couple of years and the immense pressure that they have been under.
The Dawn Raid's apology was 2 years ago, and now Labour's Pacific spokesperson Carmel Sepuloni says it can implement an amnesty in 100 days if re-elected. The Greens' Tiano Tuiono is baffled as to why they didn't roll it out when they had the chance.
An amnesty for overstays is more than timely, it's late.
Both ACT and National do not support an amnesty. When it came to health, the eye rolls started. ACT's Karen Chaw was adamant on one thing.
It shouldn't be based on ethnicity. It should be based on need.
The Greens don't agree with that one.
If you've got bi-Pacific, for Pacific health providers, that's good for our people because some of our people, they won't go down there if that person doesn't speak their language.
And National's Whanoti Agnes Loheni dug herself into a bit of a hole.
We don't disagree on outreach. That's different. In fact, we support a lot of outreach going into the community.
Is that not race-based policies?
It's not race-based policies if you want to do outreach.
Ms Sepuloni was not having a bar of it.
This is probably the thing I've been most disappointed about the whole way through this campaign is the attack on simple equity measures like this. This is not about giving Māori and Pacific any advantage because we are disadvantaged given our health outcomes and our lack of access to the health system.
And then there's crime, where there was plenty of disagreement when National's boot camps policy was discussed.
We do have policies around military academies where they are going to have wraparound support. No, they do work. There'll be wraparound support, there'll be coaches in the community. You cannot put them back into the same environment where they haven't learnt anything. You're not giving that 10-year-old, 12-year-old a chance to change their life around before they get
those
to
types of boot camps.
No, that's incorrect.
Yes.
But anyway.
While the parties disagreed on most things, something they couldn't argue with was the stats. One of the drivers of poor health is housing conditions. 40% of our Pacific people live in overcrowded homes. 1 in 10 Pacific children live in damp and mouldy homes, where they are 80 times more likely to develop acute rheumatic fever, which can lead to heart disease and death. ACT wants to make building homes easier.
And you talk to some community organisations and they may have the funding, they may be able to actually build those homes, but actually getting the consent process and going through all that rigmarole can actually take longer than building the homes.
The Greens want more support for renters.
It's like mushrooms growing on the floor, broken windows, all of this kind of carry on. Well, it's not acceptable.
With all parties claiming they have the answers, it's now up to the more than 8% of Pacifica voters who contribute around $8 billion to the country each year to decide for themselves.